Hello, I am Mal, and welcome to XCOM 2 Long War 2. I am so excited. This just released today. I've played it for a few hours. For those of you not familiar with Long War, it is a full conversion mod for XCOM 2. I am so excited. Did I say that already? I think I did, because I'm just like, my head wants to explode. Anyway, I'm not going to go into all of the details about how I did the setup and all of that. At some point, I'll throw like an episode 0 in the playlist, and you can go back and look at that if you want, or you can ask me in the comments, and I'll also put it in the description of the video. But we're going to jump right into the first mission, Operation Gatecrasher. And if you've played XCOM 2 before, you're going to note right away, this is not the Gatecrasher that you've seen in previous playthroughs. All right, so here we go. Ambush enemy troops. Advent typically moves forces in large groups, but we have located a smaller unit on its own that's vulnerable. A well-timed assault will damage Advent's interest in this region and afford us a rare opportunity to bring home enemy corpses for research. That's right.
Position is obscured.
All right, so we will take time to just see who we've got here in this initial group. Okay, so we've got Izanagi. We've got, who else do we have with us? We've got Clutch, all right. Now, Clutch is served as the executive officer of every XCOM team that I've had, so I'm glad to see him right now. Let's see. We've got Miss Walker. All right, awesome. We've got Foo. We've got Wolfric. All right, Mad Dog's here. Awesome. Let's see. We've got Action. We've got Orb. Awesome. And Frud, who's a new soldier, actually, just joined us for this season. So, like I said, I'll talk about stuff as we go through. I will have a way for you folks to sign up for soldiers. You know, I thought I had just a little bit more time to get ready for Long War 2, so I didn't quite get everything prepped. Normally I've got a spreadsheet that details the team, and then I've got, like, you know, what mods and settings I'm using and all that kind of good stuff. And there will be that that Google spreadsheet at some point here, and it'll be in the description. If it's not in there right now, just forgive me, because I was just too excited. I wanted to get in and immediately play. But that'll be coming up. There will be a sign-up form. If you want to add a soldier to the team, you're welcome to submit your soldier.
Moving on target location.
So those details will be in the description here at some point, I promise. Now, the first thing you're probably noticing is that we have, what, 8 soldiers right off the bat? So just like in previous iterations of Long War, we have a larger soldier squad. And one of the things you might be tempted to do is break up into separate fire teams, like 2 groups of 4 or something. And what I would suggest is don't do that. I did that, and if you can set up a good sort of crossfire flank with your team, or teams, excuse me, then it might work. What happened with me when I tried this, and by the way, Gatecrasher is randomly generated every time you do it now, so you can't do a static strat.
Stepping off.
But I had problems not having enough firepower in one area, so what I would suggest is, at least for Gatecrasher, keep all of your soldiers together. Now, once we get into subsequent missions, the number of soldiers and their makeup will vary greatly. There's a new mechanic called Infiltration, and we'll get into that. I'll explain it to you folks. And it's cool. I like it, and it sort of implements the fatigue system that you might be familiar with from the first Long War, but it's not. How do I describe it?
Position confirmed.
There's actually a strategic reason why you're stretched so thin, because there's so many missions, and you have to, like I said, on the majority of them, do what's called infiltration,
Moving to position.
which requires time, and you can only sink so much time into prepping each mission, and they become increasingly more difficult depending on what you've been able to do in terms of your setup. But like I said, we'll get into all that. For now, let's focus on killing some aliens, right? Or excuse me, we need to smash more alien faces.
On Overwatch.
Affirmative, covering on it.
I promise I will do my level best to tone down my excitement. I will try, but there's no guarantees. I think I said this in the last XCOM 2 series I did, Season 4, which I actually called Long War-ish, that in truth, as much as I do love XCOM, I'm not really a hardcore XCOM player. I'm a Long War player.
Okay.
So the fact that this is, and that's nothing against the dev team for XCOM. I think they made a brilliant base game. As a matter of fact, yesterday on the Firaxis live stream, they were talking a bit about that, and I agree with Jake Solomon, the lead designer, that they made a great base game, and they wanted people, especially with XCOM 2, they wanted them to be able to build whatever they wanted. And as a result, we get things like this. And there's lots of great lot of great mods out there
Overwatch. Scanning.
that maybe don't get as much attention as they should.
I've got my eyes on Overwatch.
Eyes on the prize.
What's making that noise?
You know, you think about some really great mods like A Better Advent or Grimey's Loot mod. I mean, these are pretty in-depth,
Moving out.
significant game-changing mods that are really well made.
The Advent officers seem
All right,
more
here we go.
capable than the grunts. We're not sure whether to chalk it up to training or stricter mind control.
All right, can we use some high ground here, potentially?
Headed there now.
Yep, I think we can. And we're no rush.
Rolling.
We're not on a timer. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to try to hedge our bets a little bit. This is kind of unfortunate placement of this comm tower. I don't want to get that close. All right, we'll go to the car. Half cover is improved, as it was in the original Long War. So while obviously full cover is optimal, half cover is something that you can do now. Especially if it's going to give you something like this, where you get a height advantage. Sometimes it's going to be worth it.
Affirmative, covering my
Affirmative. Roger.
Trying to set it up so that we'll have some flanks. Once you engage one group, you can pretty much be guaranteed within a turn or two, you will be facing more enemies. Oh, okay. Or you could just have two groups sitting right on top of each other. The pod sizes are bigger, as you can see. Instead of like 3, there's typically 4 or more. And as I understand it, you could have pods as big as like 8 to 10 in the late stages of the game, which is just kind of crazy, actually, if you think about it.
Orders confirmed.
Grenades are particularly useful at thinning out squads.
Moving to designated
Enemy pods, I
coordinates.
mean. There is damage fall off, so if you throw a grenade, like as an example, if I throw a grenade right here in between these two soldiers, I'm not going to do it, but just to show you. If I throw it right here, it would do pretty good damage to mist, probably on the higher end of that 2 to 5 damage range. But even if I get it perfectly and highlight both these soldiers, if I was on the edge, like 2-3 squares away or what have you, it's going to do basically nothing, maybe 1 damage. You're also going to notice that I've got these 2 orange squares here. That's because I'm wearing ceramic plating armor, and that's 2 ablative points of armor that they're wearing. Every soldier gets 3 utility slots now. That's something else that's different. I'll just try to explain everything that I can as we go along. Overwatch all.
Moving to Overwatch.
Scanning. Got it covered.
Every soldier gets 3 utility slots now, so you can carry a bunch of grenades and lots of equipment. However, it balances out with encumbrance. So base mobility is 15, I believe, and then every time you put in another small item, you get a reduction of 1 movement penalty. I think for most equipment. Some of it might be more than that, but I haven't had a chance to experiment with it.
Moving.
Okay.
Moving to designated
Move up.
coordinates.
Man, that's a lot. I really don't want to engage that many, but I don't think we're going to have an option. We're going to need to grenade this
Heading to that location.
for sure. Alright. That's a pretty good grenade. Alright.
Roger that.
Cut across. You're gonna overwatch.
En vigilance.
Overwatch. Okay, orb. Yeah.
Got it. Moving.
Cut across. Actually, I should have gone to the full cover point, but... And the question is, do I wait a turn, see if I get a better grenade target?
On it.
You know what? I am going to wait one more turn.
Roger. I've got my eyes on. Got it covered.
This first engagement goes poorly. We're going to have a bad time. Here we go. Okay. This looks good. Yeah, that works. Yeah, you guys go ahead and pat away. I am perfectly fine with that. Okay, here we go, here we go. Yeah, that'll work. Alright. Can't really get any... Well, hold on. See if Clutch has got a better nade. Yeah, he does. Okay, so Clutch will open.
On Overwatch.
Overwatch.
Fully covered.
Overwatch. You guys don't have targets. They're probably going to run here and here. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and take
I'm on the move.
them off the high ground, because otherwise they're not going to get a reaction shot this turn.
On Overwatch.
They might next turn, but it's just not worth it.
Sound.
We have all rookies, so don't expect a whole lot of these to connect, people.
Je reste en observation.
It's pretty rough, as one would expect.
Moving on target location. Roger. I've got my eyes on.
Okay.
On Overwatch.
All right. Cross your fingers.
Verstanden. Halte die Augen offen.
Here we go. I'm gonna drop it right at their feet.
Fire in the hole!
Alright, that was pretty solid. We did destroy some loot, but I'm perfectly fine with that. And what you'll find is that there's far more loot, but less impressive drops. Like, you'll have oh, that was awesome! Good job, guys! You know, you'll have them drop, say, one thing, like a hair trigger, versus in the base game where a loot drop might have, like, you know, 3 or 4 items. That doesn't happen as much. Wow. High five! Good job, guys. Alright, so we've got an advent gunner on us. Sentry, you gonna overwatch, you gonna fire. Okay, we're okay, we're okay.
Incoming fire!
Those guys are dangerous because they get to fire and then they get to overwatch. The sentries? Yeah, not my fave. Alright, so... we can't get a kill. Or we can get one kill, which is not idyllic. Let's drop this flash and get rid of those overwatches, and then that'll give us some options. There we go, Overwatch is down. Overwatch is down. They are down. Alright.
That's affirmative.
I have experimented with fallback traps. Oh, let me make a couple of adjustments here. Edit options. Abilities, we want to see those. Campaign, rotation. I like this 30-degree rotation angle. Let's see. Not created equally, huh? I guess that's set by default. Alright, well that's fine. I guess we'll get some random level ups and we'll see. I would have changed those previously, but you can't until you actually get into the first mission. Alright, let's try to get rid of you. Is that a kill? Or we don't have visibility to him, one or the other. Alright, let's move up.
Closing on target position now. Affirmative, covering now.
J'y vais.
You can expect to have somewhere between 10 and... Well, not 10. Is it 12 and... 12 and 16, I think, on the first mission, in terms of enemies. Make a run for that? Yeah, we can go pick up that loot next turn. That'll work.
On the move.
I'm not entirely convinced that we're just not having a line of sight thing. I didn't see that guy die. So I'm a little worried that we're going to end up getting flanked.
Confirmed. Overwatch.
Headed there now.
We're going to double down on this.
Scanning.
I think it's absolutely amazing. It's smart business too, but I think it's amazing that Firaxis, yeah, he is there. But he's burning, so he's gonna be dead one way or the other, I think. I think it's great that this is a free mod. I mean mod, I mean it is, but I mean it's like it's like a free expansion pack. Free game, really, in my opinion. And I hope that that's a prelude to keeping the game alive in the minds of the player base, and that means that there's another actual Firaxis expansion coming, which we gotta kind of assume that there is. Let me put it this way, I'm assuming there is because it makes me happy. Okay, how much health do you have? 4. How much health do you have? 6. Wow, action, you are impressive, buddy. Alright, so here's what we're going to do. You're going to run the Overwatch for us.
Solid copy.
Didn't get hit, which is great, but if he had, he probably would have survived, right? Alright, let's go get this loot.
Bestätigt.
PCS depth perception. Okay, great. Weapon mods and PCS modules are different in Long War 2. So as we get access to those via research, I will of course go over that. But as an example, scopes provide additional to hit on normal shots, and hair triggers now provide additional to hit on reaction shots. So changes like that are really cool. Or repeaters. Repeaters are gone and are now called suppressors, and they make a difference on infiltration times. Very useful weapon mod. Did we destroy your cover? Promotion earned. Nice.
Bestätigt. Überwachung läuft.
Closing on target position now.
37%. Well, at this point, that's as good as what we'd get on a reaction shot, so might as well take the shot. Now, there's going to be another pod. I'm almost certain of it, so we'll just hold this guy down, or try to.
Orders confirmed. On the move.
19%. No. Don't want to move up over there,
Affirmative, j'y vais.
because I'm concerned that there's a pod right here, or even right here. So I want to be real careful about our boundaries right now. Okay, let's get Dot up here.
Got it. Moving.
Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to use whatever you've got in terms of explosives and whatnot to keep your team alive, especially in the early game.
Although they bear some
Based on some conversations I've had, and then also what I've read,
genetic structure now.
you can expect a campaign to be like 2 to 2.5 times as long as sort of a standard XCOM 2 Legend Run. Uh-oh, here we go. Grenades. This is going to be bad. Should have spread out more. Oh, okay, good. Just disoriented. Nice. Yeah, the engineer tends to do flashbangs. Let's see. Okay, we've got Trooper, Sectoid, and the engineer. He's got loot. I would like to get that. This is one of the few quality of life mods that I have enabled. I forgot which one it's called, but that little yellow hand there tells me that it has loot. And again, I'm sorry, I just wanted to jump into playing the game, but in the description of this video, if not the same day you see this, within say 24 hours, there will be a link that'll detail everything for the campaign, starting squad, you know, who's in the character pool, how you can sign up, what mods I'm using, which are limited. I haven't been able to test everything. So I will implement more as the game goes along, as I'm able to test. Hi! Grazed. Yeah. You're gonna see that happen a lot. Lots of graze shots. Okay. You guys are all disoriented. Right, okay, so hunker. Hunker. You're gonna move over here, because I don't want you next to them. And your grenade target.
Moving to designated coordinates.
Okay, we're gonna hedge our bets over here and drop a flash. I don't want the Sectoid to use any abilities. And is that a regular trooper? Are you decaf or regular? Yeah, it's regular. Okay.
Okay.
That's too low. Let's go ahead and push up. And I really don't want to go up here, but I guess we will.
Bestätigt.
30%. All right, let's just go ahead and try to clip this guy.
Granate!
Again, grenades are absolutely your friend, especially in the early game, because it's the only reliable damage that you can get out of a rookie. You know for sure you're going to do something. It might not be great, but it'll be something. Okay, this is probably going to be a regular. Nope. What was that? Another disorient? Yeah. Okay.
Do that then.
Maybe that's all the engineers toss. I thought they did more than that, but...
Let's do this.
Alright.
Not good.
Yeah, it wasn't great. But overall, I'm actually really happy with how these guys have done. Alright. We're gonna have to risk it for the proverbial biscuit, people.
Moving on target.
Come on, Clutch.
I think I'm bleeding.
You'll be alright, buddy. You'll be alright. You're tough as nails. That's right!
Target eliminated.
Did you enjoy that, Sectoid?
Weapons burning, ammo fire.
Elite Suppressor? Oh, wow. Okay. That was an awesome grab. Okay, here's what we're gonna do.
Confirmed on the move.
We're gonna move forward with action. And we're gonna bring Fu in here. Like so. We'll go for the flank. And then the backup plan was a grenade.
Positive confirmation. Area secured.
Really?
Confirmed. Mission
Yeah!
accomplished.
High fives! Psh, psh. Only 10 enemies. That's weird. Last time I did it, I had 14, so I guess it varies. Oh, all right. I think Clutch got hurt, and that's about it. I think so? Question mark?
An impressive performance, Commander. Our troops' skills
Okay,
are
wounded for
improving with
13
every
days.
deployment.
Well, that's unfortunate, but hey, everybody's alive. So we're not going to do promotions from this screen. We'll do it from the armory. And I have tested successfully Commander's Choice. So we will be able to select our classes, which is really important to me, not just because I'm trying to match up stats, but historically, a lot of these soldiers, and for those of you that are joining me for the first time, I have a pretty big contingent of people that have been with me for, at this point, years. And if they were a different class, then quite frankly, I get confused. Like, for instance, if, say, Anne, if she was, say, a sniper when for years she's been a combat medic, then, you know, my brain's not powerful enough to process that. Plus, these are real people behind these soldiers. Everyone in the character pool is a member of the community, which I take great pride in. And when I play XCOM, specifically XCOM, but other games too, but really XCOM, I am sitting down and playing this game with a group of my friends. So when it's available and you want to request a soldier, by all means do so, but please bear in mind that unless you're going to be involved in the comments and really engaged with the campaign, I would ask humbly, if you just want to watch and be passive, that's fine, but if you request a soldier, then I really want you to be involved. Because this is a shared experience. It's me sitting down around, for lack of a better term, a digital table and playing my favorite game with my friends. Okay, so let's see. So we've got Elite Suppressor, massively reduced soldiers' impact on mission infiltration time. That's awesome. Depth Perception grants 5 aim and reduces enemy dodge by 25 when you're at a higher elevation than your target. That's pretty good. Okay, then we got some good corpses. We got some supplies. Okay, now we've got a whole lot of stuff to go over. Let's start with things that you need to know. Things that could be helpful to you if you start playing this today. So let's go to the commander's quarters, and if you go to XCOM Archives, okay, so let's go back, because I want to make sure you guys and gals are seeing this. So we're in the commander's quarters, which, let's face it, didn't get a whole lot of use in the base game. At least I never really used it. There's a couple of really important things here. You've got the archives, which has always been there, but there is a whole section here about Long War II. So it talks about Haven management, what a supply job is, recruit job, intel job, and I'll show you this in a second. Operating capacity, advent reprisals, resistant, XCOM advisors, and then it goes, how does the infiltration process work, mission exploration, so on and so forth. So you can go through at your leisure and look at all this stuff. And I'll be explaining things as we go along, as I always do, but I want you to know that you have that resource there for you. UFOpedia, which is the website that has traditionally housed all of the Long War information, doesn't have Long War II up there yet, and I don't know if it will. So it's good that there's this built-in thing that you can look at. All right, so from here, the other big thing is resistance management. So right now, we currently have one region, West Africa. The advent strength here is 1, the lower the better. And then we have, I think this is the number of people that we have here, so 6. We've got 2 on supply, we have 2 on intel, we have 2 on recruiting, we have 0 hidden, and here's our current income. We click there, brings up the details. So these are currently the rebels, the resistance fighters that are in this particular haven, and if the haven is attacked, these people will become controllable assets in defense of the haven. How cool is that, right? You can assign a haven advisor, someone from your soldier list, but they have to at least be ranked up once before you can assign them. You can also assign scientists and engineers and what have you to a haven, and it'll give you specific bonuses. Like as an example, if you assign a scientist to a haven, as I understand it, then anyone that's on the intel job, as you can see right here, would have either they gain more or they have a greater chance of success, or it reduces the time, but it has some kind of connection to that. If you add an engineer, I believe you recruit more supplies. So let's adjust this real quick. First off, I'm not concerned about recruits right now, and I believe that these are recruits for the haven. And then if there's somebody that's like exceptional, like if they find a resistance person, and they're like, oh wow, that guy's a great shot, or man, that gal is super smart and can hack stuff or whatever. If they think they have potential, those people are then forwarded to us to be an actual XCOM recruit. So you've got recruits for the Haven, which will be added to this list, and you can have a maximum of 13. And then you also have people that can be identified for XCOM. Kind of like in the old game, like if you save the base personnel, you could then make them part of your roster. Kind of that mechanic, but in this cooler. So we've got 3 people in supply, 1 person recruit. The hide function is if you want to put everyone on hide, it lowers the profile of the Haven to make it less likely to be attacked by Advent, which is pretty cool. All right, so we're going to do 2 intel, 1 recruit, and 3 supply for now. It's important to note that over time, your supplies from a particular region will actually kind of start to go down because the easily foraged supplies will be gone from the area, which is pretty cool. All right, so let's do some research here. Research tree is massive now and different than what we're all accustomed to. So you might want to change your priorities. First off, you've got things like basic research and engineering research, which increase your efficiency. So it's better to do these things early on, and they can be done multiple times to improve your research capability. But they're a pretty big investment in time early on. So you got to strike that balance. Do I want to just go ahead and go for alien biotech, or do I want to do basic research and then alien biotech and everything else that's in that classification of research would take me less time? So in this case, I'm going to go for modular weapons
I do find that area
because I want to be able to use
among
that
the
elite
more
suppressor,
intriguing
and
options
I'll show you what that
We'll
means here in a
begin
second. Okay, so we go to engineering. I don't think we can build anything. Yeah, we can't build anything. However, you do have a lot of standard gear, like you did in the original Long War, that you can utilize.
To the armory.
Okay, so let's take a look at our soldiers. Let me slide down here so you can see this is what I refer to as the soldier subscriber list, or my core soldiers. And a lot of the oldies but goodies are back. Again, soldiers that have been with me for years. And I need to make sure that there's a couple of really key people here. Okay, Ed's there. Clutch is there. Okay, so those are my key officers. I need to make sure that they're with us. We got Anne, she's our key medic. Nico. We got Nick, we got Stafford, Jackal. Oh, that's awesome. They're all here. This is great. All right, so let's do the promotions. And then I'm going to explain infiltration to you and how that works. And then we'll end this one. And then in the second video, we'll set up subsequent infiltrations. And then we'll get into a mission. Okay? So, everybody good with that? Raise your hand if you're not. Okay, so let's see. Dot. Okay, let's promote her. Okay, now she promoted into sharpshooter, but we're not going to leave her as that. Well... actually, I think maybe we are. Yeah, because 81 aim, 3 health, she basically has perfect sharpshooter stats. But like I said earlier, I do have Commander's Choice, and it is working. So I can change people to the classes that I think that they should be. Now, generally speaking, with Dot, I like to either do specialist or assault for her, but you know what? We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna stick with sharpshooter. Yeah, she's gonna be a sniper. That'll work. So okay, we've got Hendrik, which I think this is like the last name and this is the first initial. I'll need to confirm this with the person that submitted this, but because I don't know that Hendrik is a female name, I guess it could be a surname. I'm not sure, but I'm sure they'll let me know. Okay, Ranger, which if you're not familiar with this, oh, you know what? Maybe I should just show you this real quick. So you've got Ranger, which is not the Ranger from the base game. The Ranger in this is like an infantry, a line infantry is what they are. Multiple shots, and actually they have different perks in Long War II than even they had in the perk pack. So I'll get into that more as we go forward. Then you've got Sharpshooter, which you should be familiar with. Grenadier, so heavy weapons using grenades. You've got a Specialist, which you should be familiar with. That's the technical or medical. Rogue, which is not part of Long War II, but a great class. And if you want to see that in action, you can check out my previous Let's Play. You can check out a couple of episodes of that to see a Rogue in action. But it's a really good class. It's very well made, and it fits in perfectly with Long War II, so I have included it. Obviously, it's a stealth flanker. They're super cool. You'll like it, I'm sure. We've got the Assault, which was not in the base game. The Assault is sort of in-your-face shotgun action. You can build them to be just super damage, or you can even build them to be sort of like biotanks and soak damage for you, which is a strat, especially with the higher health pools in Long War II, is something you're going to want to look at, is maybe identifying 1 or 2 Assault and build them specifically with like really bad natural defense, like negative defense. You're like, well, negative defense? It's like, yeah, because you want them to get shot at, but we'll get to that. Then you've got Shinobis, which are like, easiest way to describe it is sword-wielding versions of the Assault. They're in-your-face, close combat people, very powerful, particularly in the early to mid-game. In my opinion, Shinobi's usefulness falls off a little bit in the late game just because they're so risky to move around. But they've got some very cool mechanics. We definitely will have some. We've got the Gunner. Primarily, Gunners are utilized, at least for me, for fire support like suppression, so area of control. And then there's also a very specific Gunner build, which I even did a detailed video on it, which is anti-mechanical. You get a Gunner, you build them a certain way, which we will, and they could pretty much burn down any mechanical, at least from Long War perk pack. Now, Long War 2, I imagine we're going to face some stuff that's like super crazy powerful. And then Technical is a brand new class that's been added in Long War 2, and the Technical, let's look at that actually. We'll just change her to that real quick, and we'll change her back. Okay, so they start with heavy weapons. So it's not showing here, but they get like a what they call a gauntlet that goes on their forearm that gives them a rocket and a flamethrower charge right off the bat. So pretty cool. And then if we look here, they've got a lot of different abilities that probably no one is familiar with unless they played the first Long War. Like example, fire in the hole. Your rockets are more accurate. Rockets now, ranged heavy weapons now have what's called spread. So I can't explain everything at once because I don't want to overwhelm you. But there's a lot of things here that are returns from the first Long War combined with some new things. So we will get into this. We'll explore the Technical class. I'll try to pick one of these soldiers early on so that we can have some fun with that. All right, but let's change Hendrik. Actually, you know what? Let's just leave Hendrik as a Technical. There you go. Congratulations. Okay, Phil. Promoted. And what is he? He's a Gunner. Perfect. Okay, Izanagi. Specialist. No. He's gonna be a Ranger, so let's change that. Did that work? Must earn a promotion. Okay, that was weird. Okay, promote. Soldier promoted. Miss Walker. All right, we're gonna change you. You, sir, will be an assault. There we go. Clutch. Okay, and we're gonna change you. You're gonna be a Ranger, which again is a infantry person. Wolfric. You know, Wolfric, I think this time we're gonna do something a little different with you, buddy, and you let me know if you're okay with this or not. I think we're gonna make you an assault also. I think it's the first time we've done that with Wolfric, if memory serves me. Maybe not, but let me know if you're okay with that. And then Foo. A technical. No. Let's see. Let's do Shinobi. Okay, so there we go. There's our first promotions. Now let's get out to the geoscape, because this video is getting pretty long here. I'm going to explain the infiltration, how that works to you, set up the first mission, and then we'll end this one, and then obviously we'll come back in the next one and tackle that mission.
On your order, we'll start
Or
our
missions,
scan of
actually.
the surrounding area. Commander, the Avengers' remote scanning capabilities will help us search the area for clues or other resources.
Market is
It's going
open.
to take some time, though. We've got a
Okay,
lot of
so
ground
anything we want to
cover.
buy here? 105 supplies for a scientist, 115 for an engineer, which I'm tempted to do. Scope, stock. This is also different. As you can see, grants the steady weapon ability, which confers plus 15 aim and plus 15 crit on the next shot. So without it, you can't steady weapon. I like the plus 15 crit too, that's nice. Petitioning, combat awareness. You know what? Let's grab that stock, actually. Yeah, let's take that. Let's take the scope. If memory serves, weapons have 3 mod slots right off the bat. Grants plus 15 defense and 1 point of armor on Overwatch. Combat awareness. Wow, that's a great PCS. How much is it? 15? I'm buying it. We can't even use it yet, but it's pretty darn good. Emergency life support, but you gotta buy 2 of them. No. Greater technical awareness. I wonder if this gives you actual technical awareness perk. Don't know. Alright. Let's go back home.
Course for the West African sector.
I have made a number of interesting discoveries,
Commander.
Okay, so we've got modular weapons, suppressors, autoloaders, hair triggers, all the things. Okay. Resistance communication, alien biotech. Let's do resistance communications.
Begins immediately, Commander.
And let's look at
I'll
what we've
contact you
got
when I have
here.
a full report available.
Okay, alien machinery here. Alien debris, alien debris. So what we could do is, as we're clearing out debris, we could go down. We could end up putting our workshop down
The
here,
Resistance has already seen a boost in their recruitment efforts after working
because there's an exposed power coil down here. It might be worth it to hold off and do that,
we have.
so we can end up using our gremlins.
The aliens wear
Shush,
hoods,
Central, I'm busy talking to these
but I'm
people.
worried. We've got plenty of people itching to take on Advent.
Alright,
Things are just
well, we'll think about that later. Alright, scan.
Commander, as the resistance continues to grow, we'll have a better chance of finding
Okay,
openings
so
to
we've got
strike
Operation
back at
Cryptic
Advent.
Omen. Recover an
As it
item from
is,
Advent
we've
facility,
already
find a
identified
lead,
target to disrupt
and then
the
as you can see
aliens'
here,
operations
baseline
in this
enemy
region.
activity,
Our window of
extremely
opportunity
light.
is limited, so we'll have to
So
move
you get
fast.
you get an indicator of what the force strength is there, and the more you can do your infiltration, the lighter the enemy forces will be, because you can actually get this down to vulnerable status, which makes it not a cakewalk, but it makes it significantly easier. So we're going to confirm that. We're going to clear the squad because there's a couple different things I want to show you. First off, that's right, squads. How cool is that? All right, so we're going to clear this out. I guess I could have just done create new squad, but whatever. And the way we're going to do squads, there's going to be, obviously we'll end up with many of them. And I was thinking about this morning, getting super excited about how we could do it. For now, I'm going to give them very generic names. So like this is going to be Team Alpha, which is about as generic as you can get. And we're going to assign soldiers. In this case, we're going to give, since Clutch is wounded, we're going to give this squad... We're going to give this squad to Ed, who is the commander of all my XCOM. He is the commanding officer, or field officer. And then Clutch is always his XO. So, but as we identify other people to be officers and assign them to squads, I'm going to allow said officer to choose the name and also to choose what the symbol's going to be, because we can do that, which is awesome. So if we go like this, you can actually change this up. There's a bunch of different designs and colors. I just think that this is so super slick. So we're going to leave it very generic right now, and then Ed is going to choose what he wants the name to be, what he wants this to be. And then I also think as we go forward and get more comfortable with everything, individual officers are going to be able to request certain soldiers for their squads. I just think that that's a cool thing, and I respect these people's opinions, so that's how we're going to do it. Okay, so let's assign some soldiers for now. We're going to take Dot. And who else are we going to take? Let's take Wolfric, and let's take Fu. All right. So if we look at squad soldiers, this is currently who's assigned. We've only got 4. The number of soldiers that you take on a mission and the types of soldiers that you take and their equipment all affect your infiltration time. So let's take a look at that. Okay, so we've got Team Alpha here. And we have 4 soldiers. Right now, squad size modifier, -1 day. If I add someone else, it'll be 0. It'll be 0 here for squad size modifier. Total infiltration to get to 100% will take 3 days and 23 hours. Okay? Base infiltration, 5 days. So, mission expires in 3 days, 22 hours. This is the total amount of infiltration time we have. And this is how much to get it to basically where it's at par, say 100%. So, let's see if we can get that down a little bit. First off, let's modify this weapon. We're going to put this elite suppressor on there. Massively reduces the soldier's impact on infiltration time. And we're going to grab a stock, and we're going to grab a scope. So we're going to deck this out. And this is going to be Lucy. She's a lovely girl. She's a lovely girl. Okay, and then we can't use PCS yet because we don't have Guerrilla Tech School. Right. You'll see here that we have both soldier abilities and we have AWC abilities. So we'll explore that later. Okay, now what do we have? Total infiltration, 3 days, 18 hours, because we've got the reduction from having the suppressor. If everyone had suppressors, it would make the infiltration even easier. Now, if we swap in another soldier, particularly one that has heavy weapons, like let's take Hendrik here for a moment. Look what happens. We lose a day and the total infiltration time goes up. Now, the reason being is because not only have we added another soldier, so it's more people stomping around, but they're not quiet. The technical class is not quiet. Grenadiers are not quiet. So it affects the time, which I think is so unbelievably badass. Okay, we've got a Shinobi. Let's take a look at the gear here real quick. Loadout. You're going to carry a med kit. Let's see. Let's change yours. Loadout. Grab 2 fragmentation grenades. Actually, let's swap this. Let's do a flashbang just to give us some flexibility. Yep, and then we'll actually have Ed carry the med kit. Pistols now go in one of the utility slots, so you can carry one if you wish. Again, I mentioned this earlier, but you have a base mobility. Base mobility is 15, and then I guess if you've got the random element, it might be up or down from there, but you see we have -3 here because we're carrying 3 pieces of equipment. Make sense? Okay. What else do we need? Can we modify your weapon? Do we have anything left? No. Alright, let's do this then. And the slow turn. That's right, it's time to smash more alien faces.
Sky Ranger deployed.
In position to drop.
Okay, so we're going to start the infiltration, and then you see Sky Ranger goes back to the Avenger. And you see right here, we've got 1%, and you don't have to worry, just like in the original Long War, once the time is done, it'll pop up and it'll tell you. You can abort or you can commit. And that's nice when you've got 3 or 4 of these things live. And you can go over 100%, by the way. Okay, so now we've got another guerrilla ops acquired. And we're going to say, okay, confirm. So now we need another squad. So that's going to be... Actually, we're just going to delete. Yeah, create new squad. And this is going to be Team Bravo. Again, we're keeping it very generic, and the officers will name these, and maybe they can ask other people for input, but that's going to be their decision. And we'll just make it slightly different. And assign soldiers. So we can't send Clutch, but that's kind of who I want to put as the quote-unquote officer. We can make changes. All right, this is what we'll do. We'll do Stafford. We'll put Jaden in there. We'll put Paul in there. And Anne. Okay, so that'll be that group. Okay, select squad. Okay, Anne will carry our med kit. I want her to have better mobility. We're going to give her an SMG. And she's going to carry a flashbang. There we go. Yeah, her aim's not so great anyway, so that works. Maybe she'll get a flank shot using that, and somebody gets hurt, she can move it in position with the med kit. That'll work. Okay, let's change your gear up. Okay, we've got an arc thrower here, which is a secondary. Those of you that played the Long War are familiar with this. It's not for captures. At least I don't believe it is. Based on everything I've read, is that there is no capture mechanic in this. But who knows? Maybe they're just keeping it super secret. But it is essentially a short-range secondary weapon that's good against mechanicals. That's its story. Okay, everything else looks good-ish. Yep, this looks okay. Start the infiltration. Slow turn. Go smash some alien faces, please.
Sky Ranger deployed.
Okay, so drop it off. Start the infiltration. We come back. Okay.
I do not think I could have predicted.
Resistance communication is done.
Is intriguing.
Okay, now let's grab... Notice, too, this costs intel to do this. And 60 is a lot. Basic research, alien biotech. Well, if we do alien biotech, then we get officer, autopsy, which would open up AWC. Yeah, let's prioritize alien biotech.
Make that research a priority, Commander. I'll notify you as soon as the report is available.
Thank you, Tigan.
Commander, we can now work to establish contact with local resistance groups operating out of regions around the globe. Once we've collected sufficient intel to make contact...
I know, at this point, for those of you that maybe aren't familiar with Long War, like, what the hell? How many missions? Well, yeah, lots. And this is where what used to be a fatigue mechanic, your soldiers would have to rest. You could send them if you wanted to, but they would suffer consequences for it. In this, it's balancing out the time it takes to infiltrate all of these places, and eventually you sort of run out of soldiers, right? You can only do so much. Okay, so let's see here. Also, this mechanic right here, boost infiltration, you can spend intel, and I don't know if it's different by mission. I think it's a set amount. You can boost infiltration by 75% for a fixed amount of intel. I think it's 25, but we'll explore that more. Enemy readiness is impregnable. Mission... What? Current enemy activity, heavy. 12% infiltrated. Enemy readiness is impregnable. Mission expiring. Must launch or abort. Well, we'll be aborting that then.
Sky Ranger deployed.
Yep. There's no way we're going to do that. That's the first time I've had that come up. So what's going to happen is advent strength in the area, I'm assuming, is going to go up. Okay, so here we go. We're 103% infiltrated. Enemy readiness is normal. Mission's expiring, so we've got a choice now of boosting it. We can view the squad again if we want to. We can abort or we can launch. It's extremely light. This is the mission that we'll go to, but we're going to do that at the beginning of the next episode. So I hope that you have enjoyed this first one. I hope that I am explaining things well, or as well as I can at this point with my experience with Long War 2. If you did enjoy it, please consider hitting that thumbs up. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, I'm Mal, and I will see you later.